Okay, do we remember how to do this? It's a new year. Girl Kev? I don't know why you think you're the host. Excuse me, pardon me. Not the host. Not the host. You're not the host. Are you the host? No, you're not the host. What's up, guys? It's New Year, New Me. I'm evolving like a Pokemon. I'm getting better by the minute. It's amazing, actually. I'm thriving. I'm thriving. That's not true. Actually, I got the mopies a little bit a couple weeks ago. I was having a very one of those moments where I'm like, what am I doing? And does anyone know what to do? What do we do? One of those moments, and we've all been there, and it's okay, because I think that after many hours of reflection, and after many tequila shots, and after many lay in bed and look at phone. After a lot of that, I think I'm on a track. And you guys are here at the best time. I'm so glad you're here with me, because I have a new venture, and big things coming. Don't you hate that so much? Number one worst thing that bands do. Big things coming. Hey, big things coming. Can't tell you big things coming. I hate it when anyone does that. And look, here I am doing it. Big things coming, guys. No, I just don't want to say anything, because I kind of want it to be like a big surprise. And I think I'm going to only tell my subscribers, and I'm only going to tell them when I move to Patreon. Because here's the deal, guys. Are you a subscriber to me on Instagram? Instagram hates me. Hey, Instagram hates me so much. Instagram specifically hates me so much, right? Because there's girls that post their whole ass on Instagram. It's out there, and Instagram's like, it's fine. And then I'll post myself like posing cutely with like a Guinness, fully clothed, by the way. And Instagram's going to be like, this is not okay. And then they flag me. And they're like, your whole account's at risk because you showed yourself with a Guinness. And I'm like, first of all, that's bias against the Irish. And this is how the troubles happened, right? Pretty sure that's how it happened. Anyway, I'd like to start out this new year, this new year, new podcast, new me. No, Kevin's I don't even know where he is. You know where he is? He's in his new litter box, because we bought him the RollsRoyce of litter boxes. We bought him a litter box that looks straight out of Men in Black. You guys. So here's what happened. My husband, Sean, is so sweet. And he noticed that I was not cleaning the litter box nearly as often as I should. I will go weeks at a time without cleaning the litter box. And the cats get visibly upset. They get mad. You can tell they get mad, and then they scream at me, and then I scream back at them, and then we just have a screaming match at each other. And then I give them a little scratch on the head, and I'm like, everything's fine. And the cats are like, everything's not fine, because we're overflowing. We are overflowing with poop. So my sweet, wonderful husband is like, here's what he didn't do. He didn't come to me and was like, hey, you got to start cleaning the litter box more. He didn't do that. He was like, I'm going to make your life way better. And I'm like, I don't know how you're going to do that, because I think what I'm doing is just fine. He's like, actually, it's not at all. There's poop overflowing in a box in our house, and we can't live like this anymore. So I'm gonna buy you the RollsRoyce of litter boxes. So I don't even know what it's called. But it's like, okay, you remember when they sit in those egg chairs in Men in Black, right? They do that, right? They sit in those egg chairs. It's like that. So it has like a little mood light in it, and it's got a ramp for the fatties, like Kevin. And they go up the ramp. What are you eating? So they go up the ramp, and they go into the egg seat from Men in Black. What is that? What are you eating? What is that noise? Don't do what you're doing. So there's a ramp. And then the cats go up the ramp, and then they go into the Men in Black chair with the mood lighting, and there's like sand there, and then they do their business, and then like 15 minutes after they leave, it does this rotation thing, and it just gets rid of the poop. I don't even know how it happens. Frankly, I don't even want to know. Look, you're doing your thing. Good. This is what the robots should be doing. We don't need robots writing screenplays. We need robots making the Rolls-Royce of litter boxes. That's what we need. This is exactly the way it should be. And even better, even better, the Rolls-Royce of litter boxes, it detects which cat is coming in and out. So it knows boy Kevin from girl Kevin. And it weighs them when they go in. Which I'm like, first of all, didn't ever need to know the weight of my cat. I don't need to know that. I don't care about them. They're fine. They're just pieces of furniture that move around. It's all good. I don't need to know how they're doing. But the Rolls-Royce of litter boxes is like, we need you to know. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So they're like, girl Kevin is a beautiful 9 pounds. She's slick, she's sleek, she's lean, she's athletic, she's beautiful. And she's 9 pounds, she's doing amazing. And I'm like, fantastic. And they're like, she shits once a day. It's good, it's regular, it's fine. And then I'm like, okay, what about the other one? It's like, oh boy. It's like, boy Kevin he's 13.5 pounds. That's considered obese. So he's fat. So that's problem A. And then he shits about 3 to 4 times a day. Maybe that's also not great. But we just got here, right? The Rolls-Royce of litter boxes is like, we just got here in your house. We've only been here for like 2 weeks. So we're just gonna keep an eye on it, and we're gonna track their progress. And I'm like, you don't have to. And they're like, we're going to. We're gonna do it anyway. And that's what the robots should be doing. That's what the robots should be doing. Take care of my cat. Take care of the poop in my house. Don't write screenplays. That's all I ask. So anyway, I'm also going to do that thing where I'm also going to do that thing where I talk to the viewers instead of the listeners. Does she know how a podcast works? I don't know. She's always talking to the viewers. She's always talking to the video watchers instead of just the audio listeners. So I got this giant zit on my face. It's big. Guys, it's huge. I got this. I have a mountainous zit on my face. I have a mountainous zit. It's so mountainous. I think the Fellowship can be seen walking up and over it, right? You remember when Legolas was like, they're taking the hobbits to Isengard, and he like was up on a mountain? That was this on my face. I was right here. He did that on my face. They filmed Brokeback Mountain on my face, right here on this mountain. Right on my cheek, right here. You could see Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal going at it on my face. They filmed The Revenant on the mountain on my face. Leonardo DiCaprio was fighting bears on my cheek. There are bear tracks just right around this area because Hollywood saw this zit on my face and they're like, we can use this. And so it has its own IMDb page now. Very in demand. I think they want it for like the next 5 Mad Max movies, but I'm trying to get it an agent, right? Like I think the mountainous zit on my face should have an agent and a manager and really just consider every offer before just accepting it because we're so in demand and image is everything. So yeah, I got a mountain. Why do you watch this show? Why are you here? Do you hear what I'm talking about? You chose to be here. You chose to listen to this. That's on you. That says more about you than it does me, right? I'm a ranting, raving, unhinged lunatic on the internet, but you chose to watch me. So this is on you. So anyway, I have a mountain on my face, and it's you know what? It sucks because as I've gotten older, the cameras have gotten better, right? I've always had acne my whole life. I don't like this phone in my pocket. I keep seeing it. And I don't like it. It's bothering me. So I've always had acne. Guys, I think I got my first zit at like 11. Like my body was always like, this is how it's going to be. I literally remember sneaking into my mom's bathroom and like looking through her makeup when she wasn't looking to find cover up to put on my zits before I went to like middle school. Like I vividly remember this. And it's just always been like that. And so I had acne all through my time on All That. And it wasn't so bad back then because the cameras weren't as good, right? Like now you go try to find footage of All That on YouTube. It's all standard def. It's all square, right? It's not, it wasn't widescreen. It was and it wasn't as crisp and clear. There was no 4K. There's none of this K. There was no Ks at all. And so you could have acne and it would be fine because cameras weren't that good. And you know, it was okay. But now I'm getting older and now I have wrinkles and now I have adult acne. I have all these things, all these problems that happen with aging, and the cameras are like, yeah, but we're better now. So we're going to just enhance those. We're going to show the whole world that. So I'm like, great, I have to deal with that. Awesome. Love it. Thankfully, the internet is so nice and forgiving, and they never critique anything about physical appearance. So I definitely don't have to worry about that. That's sarcasm. Anyway, yeah, I don't know if any of you guys suffer from adult acne, but let me tell you, it's a real thing, and it really sucks. And not only, let me tell you, I've kind of got it under control right now. Only because I got this awesome dermatologist who like just threw a bunch of stuff at me, and she's like, let's try it. And it is doing great. But I didn't just have the regular like surfacey acne. I had like cystic acne. Like when I get a zit, it's like, you're going to have this for 3 weeks. It's going to be huge and you can't cover it with makeup, and they're going to shoot Brokeback Mountain on it. So at least you can get some residuals from that, right? At least you're going to have Leonardo DiCaprio fighting bears on your cheek. That's pretty cool. So at least your cheek zit's going to have its own IMDb page. Great. That's all. See, these are positives you got to focus on. But yeah, cystic acne is like, they're so deep under the skin that you can't with them. So when you get a zit, and this is exactly what happened with the mountain on my cheek right now. I saw it in the mirror and I was like, that looks like I can take care of it. And you know what I mean by take care of it. We're going to take care of it. Like a very Italian way. We're going to, get rid of that. So I messed with it because, the dermatologists are like, don't mess with it. And you're like, I think I know my body better than you do. So I think I'm going to make my own decisions and I'm going to mess with it. And they're like, okay, have fun. And I'm like, I'm going to mess with it. And then I messed with it. And my skin was like, oh, now you've angered us. Now you've made us extra mad. And now you're going to suffer even more. So I messed with this zit on my face and it got 10 times worse than if I would have just left it alone. But my body, my choice. So not what that means. I can't even believe I said that. Can you just pretend I didn't say that? Anyway, just don't mess with it, right? But anyway, if you suffer from any kind of adult acne, I totally feel for you. Because I've dealt with it my entire life. I went through 2 entire courses of Accutane, multiple laser treatments. In fact, I think it was my 3rd season of all that I was seeing like the top dermatologist in all of California. I was going to Beverly Hills. I don't know what my parents were paying. It had to have been like $1,000 an appointment or something like that. Cause they're like, we just got to help this poor girl. Cause she has such terrible breakouts. Multiple laser treatments. And one of the laser treatments is very interesting. It got rid of like most of my freckles. Isn't that crazy? First of all, they didn't tell me that was going to happen. I don't know if it was like really early on in the LASIK skin treatments that they didn't know that was going to happen, but like poof, like whoop, there they go. They're gone. I went through a laser treatment and a laser got rid of my freckles. They're gone. I'm like, how? Why? I didn't necessarily want to get rid of them. I liked them. I still have some. But the laser was like, oh, you want to be beautiful? We got to get rid of these freckles. I'm like, okay, that's okay. If that's what you want to do. So that's why, like, you see me as a kid and I have so many freckles, and then you see me as an adult, I don't really have that many. The lasers did it. The lasers did it. And I didn't tell them they could, but they did it. I don't know where they put them. Hey, laser, where did you put my freckles? Where did they go? They just evaporate into thin air? No, you've got to have them somewhere. Are they in a vial somewhere? Is it like in Indiana Jones when they roll the box back into the storage facility with all those other giant boxes? There's like a tiny vial of my freckles somewhere there? I need to know where my freckles are. Where are my freckles at? So anyway, they didn't tell me that was going to happen. And also the laser didn't help my acne at all. It was like... It took away my freckles, and then it didn't do anything about my acne. And I'm like, really glad we're doing this. Awesome. So now I still see a dermatologist, and I have like 2 topical medicines. I have Amzeq. It's like a foam that turns me bright yellow, ruins all of my sheets at night. It's terrible. Trentanoin is another like topical cream I have to put on. And then I have to take a oral medicine called spironolactone. I don't know why all these medications have to have such complicated names. Every medicine's like, we need every vowel. We need every vowel in this word. Trentanoin. Okay. Do we really need the name to be that long? Why does it have so many vowels? So, yeah, I bet you were like, man, I really hope that this first shiny episode of Temperamental, I hope she just talks about zits. I hope that's the topic of conversation, because that's what we're interested in. No, let's talk about Nosferatu. Let's talk about Nosferatu. Nosferatu. Okay, so I don't see movies in the theater. You know who I miss? I miss Girl Kevin. Usually she's so annoying, but I kind of miss her. Kitty. Maybe she'll come back. She's kind of become like the new co-host of the show. Girl Kevin. Kitty. Let's put just pause. Do the me hitting Brendan with the lunchbox. We're gonna pause and you're gonna the lunchbox. Go. I'll do it.
What?
Come here.
Oh.
I'm not gonna lie, you feel heavier than 9 pounds. Maybe I'm just very weak. So anyway, oh, she's back. Everybody say hi to Girl Kevin. Say hi to the people. Thank you. So anyway, I don't really go see movies in the theater. I can't even remember the last time that I did it. I just don't have $30 to spend on a movie theater ticket and then an extra $30 on popcorn, and it's so expensive. Holy crap. Guys, movies are so expensive and nobody's talking about it. It's like, it's crazy, dude. You'd think that with all the streaming services, the movie theaters would be like threatened, right? They're like, guys, we gotta get people in this theater. People are watching things on Netflix and Hulu and Prime and Apple and Zuli and Hebo and Bebo and whatever. People are watching on all these streaming services, and we gotta stop that. We gotta get them back in these seats. We gotta get them in the dark. Gotta get them back in the dark in these seats. We should lower the price of movies. It should be $5. That's what I think. Movies should be $5. If movies are $5, I'd probably go more. But they're so expensive. Especially all the ones here are like luxury movie theater. Do you want to sit in a lazy boy? Do you want a pillow and a weighted blanket? Do you want us to sing you a lullaby and read you a story and give you a teddy bear? And while you watch this 3-hour-long movie, first of all, movies are too long. I have too much to say today. But yeah, movies are too expensive. So I just don't really go very often. Plus I just got too much going on, whatever. So, but I got to tell you, I went to the movie theater dose times during the winter break. And I'm very proud of myself. And I got to tell you, it was fun. And, I don't really like who I become in a dark movie theater with popcorn. That's a version of myself that I was not aware existed. I think there's a really old Ellen DeGeneres stand-up about this. But like, when you're in the dark, all your inhibitions, poof, they go away. Your inhibitions, they're gone. I was given a bucket of popcorn. And the heaping handfuls that I was taking of this popcorn and shoving into my mouth, absolutely embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for myself just thinking back on it. What was I doing? I'm just shoveling it into my mouth. During the previews, the movie hasn't even started yet. And I have popcorn in front of me, and it's got to be upwards of like 25 kernels per chomp. Right? It's heaping. And then you can't even fit them all in your mouth. And so it's down my shirt. I wore boots. They were in my boots, guys. I got home and I had to dump out my boots because there was popcorn in my boots. That's how aggressively I was eating this popcorn. Just and I don't eat like that normally. I can't even remember the last time I ate anything like that. But for some reason, in the dark, in a movie theater, popcorn in front of me, I'm scarfing. I'm scarfing. I can't even last time I scarfed anything like that. So that was like, I was like, this is why I can't go to movies. This is why I can't go to movies. This is not a good version of myself. So yeah, I saw Sonic 3 because I wanted to see what Jim Carrey came out of retirement for. He was great. Movie, whatever. It's not for me, right? It's a kid's demographic. It's fine. Is Ben Schwartz an amazing actor? Yes. Do I find him very funny in real life? Yes. Was he a good voice of Sonic? No. Was he the most annoying voice ever selected to be Sonic? Yes. Awful. But look, the kids love it. It's all good. I'm not the demographic. I can't judge. I can't judge because I'm not the demographic. Not the demographic. But Jim Carrey was amazing. He is a national treasure and he needs to be protected at all costs. He's the best actor to ever live. He can take Dr. Robotnik. He can take these characters that like anybody else with this script and this character it would be unwatchable. It wouldn't be funny. It would be ham-fisted. It would be over the top. It would be insane. And yet Jim Carrey brings his Jim Carrey-ness to it. And now it's a classic. I would watch that movie again only for Jim Carrey. Okay? He's amazing. So insane. So insane that he's that good. And so like wise. We're not going to get into that. But anyway, I didn't get to meet him, but I got to be near him briefly at a Kids' Choice Awards after he got slimed. He got off stage. We went backstage. It was me and Jack and Chelsea and somebody else, maybe Shane. I don't know, but we all went backstage immediately to see him. And we have some like really blurry pictures of us with him, and he's covered in slime. I think Chelsea got the best picture. I think there's kind of a clear shot of her with Jim, and then maybe me in the background, like you know. But anyway, let's talk about Nosferatu. So first of all, I had a really hard time focusing on the movie at the beginning because I just kept thinking, how do Australians pronounce this movie? I just kept thinking, like, guy, good day, mate. You heading off to see Naurrrsferatu? Naurrrsferatu? Hey, mate, you seeing Naurrrsferatu? Naurrrsferatu. Naurrrsferatu. How do they pronounce it? Naurrrsferatu. How do they pronounce it? I don't know why. That's all I could think of. So it's like very cultural appropriation. Whatever. Take the shrimp off the babby. Naurrrsferatu's coming. It's like not even a good Australian accent. It's like we went half English at the end. Terrible. Naurrrsferatu. Anyway. That's all I could think of for like the first 10 minutes of the movie. I'm like, oh boy, I got to get out of my own head. I got to actually watch this because it's a serious movie. So, look, I don't usually like to talk about current events on this podcast. You got lots of other podcasts for that. I like to talk about things you never even knew you wanted to hear about. Like The Revenant being shot on a cystic bump on my face, right? That's what, like, there's a cyst on my face and The Revenant was shot there and Leonardo DiCaprio fought bears on my lower right cheek, and that's what you guys want to hear about. You don't want to hear about current events. Like Nosferatu. You don't want to hear about that, but you're going to anyway. So anyway, I saw a movie in the theater. I was scarfing popcorn. I was scarfing like crazy. Sorry, girl Kevin. She was trying to cuddle with me and I was getting too flaily. You know how I get. So this movie is great. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to spoil anything. And also, it's one of those movies where, like, even if you know what happens, which you do, if I put a gun to your head, I wouldn't. If I put a water gun to your head and I was like, tell me what you think the plot to Nosferatu is, you'd probably come really close. So like it's one of those movies where the plot isn't the thing, it's the visuals, it's the cinematography, it's the practical effects, it's the thespianism. Is that a word? I don't know. Sounds like a slur. No, so that's the thing about this movie is that if you like practical effects, which I love so much, I will always choose practical effects over CGI. I don't care if I can see the strings of the puppet. I don't care if I can see the strings of the puppet in the movie. If it's practical effects, I'm there. I'm in. My kids have been watching all the Harry Potter movies. We just finished them. And let me tell you, I think kids can pick up on this as well. I really do. Because there's something about the magic of the first movie that really struck them that they didn't really get in the later installments. And that's because the later installments are chock full of CGI. Chock full of it. Chock full of CGI. They got so much of it, chock full of CGI. Too much. Everything's CGI. But I know that Chris Columbus, the director of the first Harry Potter, leaned into practical effects, mostly because they didn't really have that great a CGI back then, but thank goodness they didn't, because they leaned into the practical effects. Do you know the scene in Harry Potter where all the envelopes are shooting through the fireplace? That was practical effects. That really happened. They did not use CGI for that. And Harry is like, Harry Potter's trying to grab an envelope out of the air instead of just picking up one at his feet. There's 100... Dude, that scene is so funny to me because there's 100 envelopes at his feet and he's like trying to grab one out of the air and he can. He's trying again and he's laughing, he's smiling. And I'm like, just pick one up off the ground, dude. There's like 100 just right there. Just pick one up. But anyway, that was practical effects. Do you remember the scene where the wand chooses... Oh! I'm sorry, there was a tiny fly. And I don't know if I caught him or not. We'll have to watch playback to see if I got him. All I know is I did clap so hard that my hands are stinging right now. God dang. So you know the moment where the wand... Wait, where am I on time-wise? I'm getting close to the end. I got to wrap it up soon. So anyway, you know the moment in Harry Potter 1 where the wand chooses the wizard and he goes to the wizard wand shop and then he gets one. Oh, there's that fly again. Oh, he's back. I think his name is Sergio. And he's flying around. And if I see him again, I'm going to take him out. You watch out, Sergio. So he gives the dude in the shop, whatever, you Harry Potter freaks are probably like, his name was whatever. That dude's... I see him again. I see Sergio the fly. I'm going to get you. You fly over here. I'm going to take you down. There's a no-fly zone. So he gives Harry a wand, and it's not the right wand, so Harry does a little flick, and then all these boxes of wands just they like fly off the shelves, and it's like it causes a big mess. That was practical effects. They did as much as they could with practical effects in the first Harry Potter movie, The Sorcerer's Stone, unless you live in Britain town, and then it's the Philosopher's Stone, right? Naurrrrsferatu. Naurrrrsferatu. Aye, I gotta say Naurrrrsferatu. And for some reason, I can just tell that like my kids connected so much more seeing the practical effects than they did later on with like all the CGI. So I'm a strong believer in that whole kids can tell, right? We can tell. Think back to your childhood. What sticks out more? The practical effects from Star Wars 4 through 6 or the CGI from 1 through 3? What sticks out more in your head when you think about Star Wars? You think about the practical effects because there's something in your brain that knows that it's real, right? I really truly believe that brains can tell when something has been created by a computer and they just process it differently. Your brain can tell when something is made by a computer and not practical effects, right? I just really truly believe this, and I will always choose practical effects over CGI. And it's sad that like now we live in a world where CGI is cheaper. That used to be not the case. It used to be way more expensive to get a computer to like create your dinosaur in Jurassic Park than to like really make a dinosaur. And it's not the case anymore now. Movies can save so much money by just doing CGI instead of practical. And that makes me very sad. But you get what I'm saying. I really truly believe that brains can process what's real and what's fake. And I can see that with my kids. Like I can literally see these young brains being so much more mesmerized by the practical effects on the screen than by the CGI. So basically, I'm a professor and I know everything. And that's why you're here listening to my podcast. So anyway, let's talk about Naurrrrsferatu. So, dude, he's got a pimp coat. He's got a pimp coat and he's got a porn stash. He's got a pimp coat. He's got a porn stash. What is the opposite of, I don't know if I should bleep this because I don't know if it's a bad word, but like when you say that Hollywood has bastardized something, can I bleep? Do I need to bleep that? I don't know. So whatever the opposite of that is, that's what Hollywood has done to vampires. They've debastardized them. Hollywood has made vampires so sexy for so long. It had to end. It had to end. Dude, even look, the closest we got, it was like Gary Oldman. He's still pretty sexy, but kind of like, I didn't like him with the top hat and the curly hair and like the round glasses and the pimp cane. Like I was kind of like, I don't want to make out with him. Right. But like all these other versions of Hollywood vampires, from Twilight to the Underworld series to what's the True Blood, just like Hollywood is like, vampires are sexy and you want them to bite you because then you're going to become a sexy vampire and we can all be sexy together. No, actually vampires are terrifying. They're very, very scary and they're supposed to be ugly and they're supposed to be horrific and they're supposed to make you not want to shag them, right? I'm British now. They're supposed to make you not want to shag them. That's what I liked about Naurrrrsferatu, is that I didn't want to shag this vampire. I didn't even want to look at him, which is great. They kept him in darkness. They're like, you don't want to see him. You don't want to see him. We're going to keep him in shadows. I'm like, good, great. It was very well done. I thought it was a good movie. I tend to be very hard on movies just because, I'm an actor and I'm a writer and I like to analyze things more than they should. I honestly try to get myself to just shut up and just enjoy things. Don't overanalyze it. Just watch it and have fun and shovel this popcorn into your mouth by the handful because no one's looking at you. It's fine. But I did force myself to just sit back and have fun and watch this movie. And I got to tell you, I loved most of it. Can I tell you the one thing I didn't like? Can I tell you the one thing I didn't like? I'm not spoiling anything. I didn't like the main girl. And I'll tell you why I didn't like her. And it is actually a huge problem in my mind. So there is something, I'm going to get all screenwriter on you. So there's a thing in the screenwriter community called Save the Cat. And what they mean, there's a whole book about it called Save the Cat. And what they mean by this phrase is that you need to give your main character a redeeming quality right off the bat. In the first 1 or 2 or 3 scenes, you need to give your main character a redeeming quality that will instantly make you love them so much that you care about their journey, that you care whether they live or die. And a great example of that would be saving a cat. Like a cat is falling out of it. Say you got Sylvester Stallone, right? And he's like, yeah, it's me, Sylvester Stallone, and I can punch you really hard because I'm Rocky, and I got turtles, and the turtles are named Cuff and Link, and like, yeah, what? I don't know what that just was. But you got Sylvester Stallone. And you're looking at the screen, you're like, why should I care about this big, beefy man? Why should I care about this big, beefy Italian man? But then he's walking along. Hey, I'm walking here. He's in New York. You want more? He's walking there. But then a cat. Meow. Not Kevin, because we don't care about him. Say it's Girl Kevin. Girl Kevin's in the tree. I know. This cat is falling out of a tree. And Sylvester Stallone's like, I gotta save this cat. So then Sylvester Stallone runs and saves the cat from falling out of the tree. And everyone gathers around. They're like, oh, yay, you're a hero. Now suddenly you want this guy to live because he's a cat saver and he's a friend to animals. And that means he's sensitive and sweet. So we want him to live. Now we care about him because if he keeps on living, he can save more cats. So we like this guy, right? It's like, you need your lead character to do something nice to a kid or save a cat, pet a dog, whatever. Just like you need some kind of redeeming quality for your main character so that you're on board with them living. And they didn't give me that with Helen. I'm still not sure what the girl's name was. Is it Ellen or Helen? Ellen. We're just going to say Ellen. Oh, so they didn't get this by Ellen. She had no redeeming qualities. Great actress. It's all good. The scenes were good. She delivered the lines well. She wore the costumes well. She did the whole roll your eyes back in your head and stick your tongue out all weird. Well, she did it all well. But I didn't care about her at all. So every time the movie was like, Ellen's got to die. I'm like, okay. And they're like, no, you don't understand. Ellen's got to sacrifice herself to save the world. And I'm like, okay, let's get on with it then. Yes. And they're like, no. You don't understand. She's going to perish for the sake of the... And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine with this. Go do it. Give her to the guy with the porn stash and the pimp cane and the giant... Give her to the guy who talk like this. Dude, I heard that Bill Skarsgård worked with a vocal coach to lower his voice for that role. He did amazing. That was creepy as crap. But anyway, back to what I was saying. They're like, she's going to die. And I'm like, okay. Yep. They're like, no. As the audience, you need to be upset about this. I'm like, but I'm not. I think it's fine. I don't really care about her enough. So let's just kill her. So that's my only problem, is that the stakes were not high enough for her. I just didn't, and again, nothing to do with the actress. I just didn't care enough about her. I didn't care. If they had opened the movie with her saving a cat, catching a cat from a fallen tree, she's a friend to cats. I would have been like, we got to protect her. We got to protect Ellen at all costs because she's a cat saver. For the sake of the cats, we got to save Ellen. But she didn't do that. She was just kind of just a waif. A whiny, moody waif the whole time. So I did not care whether she lived or died. And maybe that's a me thing. I don't know. I just think that story-wise, if we would have really, truly cared about her as a person, the movie would have meant more. Her sacrifice would have meant more if I really didn't want her to die. I just didn't, fine, okay. She wasn't that interesting to me. Only gripe. And but who am I, right? Who am I to judge this modern day take on German expressionism? I don't even know. What is German expressionism? Should we look this up? What is German expressionism? Seems like Germans have done a pretty decent job of expressing themselves through the years. German. Can I try again? German expressionist cinema, which peaked in Berlin during the 1920s, used visual distortion and exaggerated performances to convey the era's fears, desires, and inner turmoil. Okay. The movement emphasized the artist's inner feelings over reality and was characterized by bright colors, simplified shapes, and gestural brushstrokes. What's up, guys? We are gestural brushstrokes. Yeah, we're gonna bring you some music tonight. That's a great band name. Am I even pronouncing that right? Anyway, I've gone way over my time, but yeah, okay. Yeah. If anything, I love the fact that Hollywood is like, all right, we're done making classic monsters sexy. We're gonna start making them horrific and see what that does for us. I like that. I really like that. So good for you, Hollywood. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. New year, new me. I'm evolving like a Pokemon. You can get a sweet tank top like this with the Temperamental Kevin logo on it at leastphotos.com on my shop. And other t-shirts, male versions. There's a cool like mustard yellow version. Just leastphotos.com. Buy a t-shirt. It really helps me out. And subscribe on Instagram if you want to. But pretty soon we're going to Patreon, guys. We're going to Patreon. I'm sick of Instagram policing me. I cannot be police. Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? I think I'll run. I'm going to run to Patreon. That's what I'm going to do. So thank you guys. Love you. Happy New Year. Hope you had a great Christmas. That's all I got. Bye. Bad boys, bad boys. Oh, what you gonna do? Oh, what you gonna